I have been dying to start a garden. Now that I'm finally to the point that I'm ready to do this, I know what I want to use. I have 2 raised garden beds, well actually 3 now. The only question that I have is, how? What do I actually fill this thing with? Do I fill it with soil? Do I fill it with twigs, branches, compost? If you want to grow anything with a deep root system, think tomatoes, corn, watermelon, you need a lot of soil. It is expensive. If I was to go to Home Depot and actually try to fill this bed up, buying those little bags that they sell, I would need 32 bags just for this one bed, and I got 2. So that means I would need 64. If the bags cost $10 a pop, then that means I'm paying over $600 just for soil. So guess what, y'all? It's so much better to just go and get all of this stuff in bulk. I found a company online, it's called Silver Creek Materials, and they sell landscaping supplies. In my head, I'm like, I wonder if I can get the soil that I need. So if you have something like this in your area, I would definitely recommend buying in bulk because you get a slight discount when you actually do that. This company actually has a bunch of different types of soils. And so I saw the one that I needed immediately for raised beds. It was called the Bella Flora mix. I also needed compost, and they had that too, so I was super happy about that. What I actually ended up paying, y'all, was like $500. So I actually saved $150 by buying this soil in bulk and getting it delivered versus going to Home Depot and getting 64 bags of topsoil. Luckily, most of these companies that sell soil or landscaping supplies in bulk also have conversion calculators. So all I had to do was put in the length, the width, and the height of my garden bed in inches and click calculate. And it popped out exactly how much soil I needed, which for one of these garden beds, it actually ended up being 2.5 cubic yards. And then obviously I have to multiply that times 2 because I got 2 of them. And so I needed 5 cubic yards. Now, one of the things that I tried to figure out early on is, okay, I need 5 cubic yards, but how much compost do I need? And how much actual soil do I need? How much potting mix? And so I actually was reading more about the Bella Flora mix online from this company, and it already had a good amount of compost in it. So I just needed a little bit more to take me over the top. So I decided to do 4 cubic yards of the potting mix and 1 cubic yard of the compost. So if you are going to go the bulk route, just make sure that you're not getting too much compost to soil. Check and see if your soil already has some compost and just go from there. If you're getting an 8x4x2 like me, like I said before, that's about 2.5 cubic yards of soil you'll need for your bed. If you're doing 4x4x2, it's 1.25 cubic yards. If you're doing 4x2x2, it's 0.75 cubic yards, and if you're doing 4x2x1, it's 0.5 cubic yards. When you're actually ready to start filling your garden bed, make sure that if your garden bed comes with any ground stakes that you definitely put those in so your whole thing just don't blow away and yeah, no more garden bed. I still put cardboard at the bottom of my garden bed. This is supposed to suppress some of the weeds that'll come up through the soil. When it breaks down, it'll provide your soil some extra nutrients for the roots. Next step, go ahead and water the cardboard. This is going to help it break down so that those roots can go ahead and penetrate over time and go down to the deeper ground. But yeah, if you don't wet it, I don't even know if the roots will actually make it, so don't skip that step. And then once you have the cardboard watered, you can go ahead and put a layer of soil. What we actually did was we put probably 2 layers of soil, and then we added some water and wet it. Then we added maybe another 2 layers of soil, added some water. So just keep going like that in a rhythm until you get to the very top. Once you're done with the soil layer, you want to add something called perlite to the top 12 inches of your soil. If you can't do that, do the top 8 inches. What this is going to do is help the air circulation in the top layers of your soil so that it doesn't become too compacted. Your soil actually needs like oxygen. So if you don't put this perlite, the oxygen won't flow through the top layer. So just make sure you go and pick this up. You can get it from Home Depot. I think it was about $6, $7 a bag. For me, I needed quite a bit of this because I have big beds. So I actually needed 8 bags. And so I used 4 bags for one bed and then 4 bags for the other. Then grab you a garden rake or whatever this lovely tool is called and just start working that perlite into the soil. Make sure you mix it in real good. My soil was super compacted because I actually filled the garden bed and then put the perlite in on separate days. So I had to come in with like this rotating garden fork and kind of work it through the sides where the rake wouldn't kind of break things up as easily. And I also have the support bars going through the middle of my bed, so I didn't want to mess those up with the rake. So I came in with like a little tiny handheld garden fork and I tried to mix in the perlite between those bars. And that, my friends, is how you fill up one of these raised garden beds. Just remember that it's often cheaper to go and get all of that soil in bulk from a materials company, landscaping company, anywhere you can find where you can really get that discount. Follow all the steps in this video of how to actually fill it layer by layer, soil, water, Then at the very top, you want to add perlite for aeration. And then you're basically done. After that, you want to go ahead and plant your crops. As soon as your seedlings come up, then you're going to add mulch to the top, and that's going to make sure that your soil stays moist, especially if you live somewhere hot. Like me, I live in Texas, so I'm definitely going to be mulching this thing and making sure that all of my water, the moisture doesn't escape. So yeah, now if you've done everything in this video, you're ready to go ahead and start planting. You can go with seedlings, seeds. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm definitely going to cover the lasagna method. Until then, subscribe for more tips.